The Elaine Massacre, which occurred in Elaine, Arkansas in September 1919, is one of the deadliest racial massacres in American history. Though it was long obscured or misrepresented in official narratives, it took place during a period of intense racial violence known as the Red Summer of 1919, when white mobs attacked black communities across the U.S. background. The massacre stemmed from rising racial tensions in Phillips County, Arkansas, a heavily segregated cotton-producing area where black sharecroppers were often cheated out of fair payment for their crops by white landowners. In the summer of 1919, black sharecroppers, many of whom were veterans of World War I, began organizing through the Progressive Farmers and Household Union of America. They sought to negotiate fairer prices for their cotton and better treatment. Their meetings made local white planters uneasy, who saw organized black labor as a threat to their control. The incident on September 30th, 1919, a union meeting of black sharecroppers was being held in a church near Elaine. Fearing a confrontation, some attendees had armed themselves for protection. When white law enforcement officers and a railroad security officer arrived at the meeting, gunfire broke out. Accounts vary on who fired first, killing one white man and wounding another. What followed was a violent and prolonged assault by white mobs who descended on the area over the next several days. Some of them deputized, others arriving from neighboring counties and even from Mississippi. With the help of federal troops, who were called in under the pretense of restoring order but reportedly also engaged in violence, the massacre unfolded brutally. Casualties and aftermath. Estimates of black deaths range from 100 to over 200, though official reports drastically undercounted them for years. 5 white men died, mostly during the initial altercations. Hundreds of black residents were arrested, and 12 black men were hastily convicted of murder and sentenced to death in trials that lacked due process and were driven by all-white juries. The Elaine 12, as they became known, were defended by the NAACP and attorney Scipio Africanus Jones, leading to a landmark Supreme Court decision, Moore v. Dempsey, 1923. The court ruled that mob-dominated trials violated the defendant's 14th Amendment rights, setting a precedent for federal review of state criminal cases. Legacy for decades, the Elaine Massacre was hidden, misrepresented as a Negro insurrection, and omitted from Arkansas textbooks. In recent years, scholars and activists have worked to reclaim and honor the true story of Elaine. In 2019, the 100th anniversary of the massacre prompted national recognition. Memorials and historical markers have since been installed, and descendants continue to call for truth-telling, reparations, and healing. Why it matters. And the Elaine Massacre is a stark example of how black economic self-determination was met with lethal force in the Jim Crow South. It reveals the lengths to which white supremacist systems would go to maintain control and the resilience of black communities that resisted.